Welcome to TalkFCB and welcome back here to the channel, guys. A Barcelona news roundup coming up for you today, and we have lots to discuss with some official news on training, on potentially crowds being allowed back inside stadiums, and we're also going to be talking about the words of Quique Setien, what he feels about the increase in subs that's going to be allowed in La Liga, and also we're going to be talking transfers with Alphonso Davies and Fabian Ruiz, covered in some detail. It's all coming up in today's video. Let's get to it. But if we do start first and foremost with the news there about potentially fans being allowed inside of stadiums, not in the end of this season, but potentially there with a view to the next campaign. Because it's come out there from COPE in Spain, a big report that says right now the plans are as follows. From September to start the new season, there is a plan to actually have 30% of your capacity allowed inside the stadium. Now, it's not really known at this stage how exactly the fans inside the stadium would be chosen. Already in the Russian Super League, they're allowing already 10% of the capacity allowed inside the stadium, and that is all. Because, of course, if you don't allow everybody in, if you allow there a small percentage of your crowd inside the stadium, you can still have inside when you're sat down that social distancing in place. So from September, La Liga there are aiming for 30% of fans, which for Barcelona would be nearly 30,000 spectators. However, in November, that could be quickly ramped up to 50%, which for Barcelona would be nearly 50,000 spectators inside the Camp Nou. And from January 2021, right now Spain are hoping they will get back there to 100% capacity to start off 2021. But it all depends right now on exactly how the situation develops. We don't know right now whether we are well and truly moving out of the situation. Everything is still being assessed. But the plans right now are good. Fans will be allowed back inside stadiums for next season as it stands. But exactly how many in one go, we're going to have to wait and see. But still, encouraging signs. Also, some big news there surrounding full training. I mentioned a few days ago that surely now we are going to be moving into that full training period, and indeed, it is official now that from Monday, the 1st of June there, this coming Monday, full training will be resuming. So that there is no longer groups of 10, it is going to be everybody together working on everything they need to be doing there to get as close as they possibly can to that match sharpness, that match fitness they're going to need, which will mean there that from training on Monday, we will have just under 2 weeks of full training before our first game against Mallorca, and that there should be coming on June the 14th. Although Setien did admit recently in an interview that he would have liked more time. Setien came out and said, "We thought we would have more time to work as a full group, but it's not meant to be. We would have liked a little bit more time to all work together. I hope there are not many injuries and that it's less harmful than we imagine." So quite clearly there, Quique Setien was hoping that La Liga would have potentially given the teams there a little bit more of a period there back in that full training before we kicked off again. But like I say, the situation right now is far from ideal. But it's interesting then what Setien says about injuries, because in the Bundesliga so far, we have seen certainly an increase there in muscle-related problems. And I think the team, and especially at Barcelona, with the injury problems that we often have, we are going to need to be very careful. We are going to need to monitor the players, we're going to need to manage them correctly. If you need to bring them off, if you need to rest them, that is what you're going to need to do, because we cannot afford any injuries, and playing games as regularly as we are going to be, we have to be careful, and that's why Setien is certainly wary of that. And with the concern of injuries, potentially there, we will be looking at the increased amount of subs that we can use in games, which will now be from 3 to 5 when football returns, and that may be quite a situation that will help us out. But Setien also is not really a fan of those increased subs. He said, "I don't know right now if it will harm us or if it will benefit us. It could harm us because of our way of playing. We know that at Barcelona, a lot of our matches will be resolved in the final stages of games, and if you give the rival there the option of putting on fresh legs in that time, the weakness that is generated with tired players usually, that won't come about. But the 5 subs could also give you resources to use in a specific moment in the game. So right now, it's an unknown quantity, and we'll have to wait and see exactly how it goes." So Setien there is a little bit concerned, because obviously at Barcelona, it's always been the case, even under Pep Guardiola, I can remember it, they're thinking, this team, this opposition, this defence, they're not going to be able to do that. They're not going to be able to press us and close us down and manage the space for the full 90 minutes. They are going to tire. And obviously there, when you're giving teams the opportunity to bring on 3, 4, now 5 players to help them out when they're getting tired, it isn't exactly ideal with the way that we play. But again, That's the hand that we're dealt. We know what we're up against. We need to manage that problem. Some more interesting news coming out from Spain, though, with regard to the transfer window, because reports in Spain right now suggest the dates for the opening and the closing of the transfer window period are going to remain pretty much as they usually are. They say there the Spanish window will open on July the 1st for the transfers, and also there it will close on September the 1st, giving you there the usual 2 months to get your deals done. And that means potentially we could be seeing here transfers, negotiations, everything like that happening while the current season is still going on. And then you've got players' contracts and loans, which are going to be coming to an end. And I still feel as though, even though we are just 2 weeks or so, even less than that now, from football returning, I still do feel as though, as we move into July, there's still a lot to sort out, especially there when you've got transfers going on, when you're still playing the current season. We still need a little bit of clarification, I feel, on exactly what's going on. But with regard to the transfer window, I want to bring you a report here from MD this morning regarding Alphonso Davies, because we've all been watching on our field in absolute amazement, watching the progression this season of Alphonso Davies at Bayern Munich. They have been outstanding, and he's been such a big part of that over the last few months. He's made a brilliant transition there from left wing back to left back, and the way he's made that position his own, it's absolutely incredible. He has been such an impressive player to watch, and he's still just 19 years old with a massive, massive future ahead of him in the game. And it was interesting, I feel, this morning to read in MD that actually Barcelona was so close to signing him back in 2017. Apparently there, when he was back in MLS, when he was there at Vancouver Whitecaps, Barcelona actually approached Davies to sign him for Barcelona B, and we even went as far there to start negotiating with Alphonso Davies' agent, who actually travelled to Barcelona, where they were discussing a transfer fee of around €8 million. Now, unfortunately for us, and it really is unfortunate, at the time, Barcelona felt that was too much money. They felt as though maybe at that young age, Alphonso Davies wasn't worth that kind of outlay. And it was also the same summer that we went out and bought Marlon Santos from Brazil for €6 million. And that tells you everything. We didn't take the chance on Davies, we didn't get the deal done, and of course, he then continued to impress in MLS before Bayern stepped in, got the deal done in July 2018 for just €10 million. And the rest, it is history now, as Davies continues to go from strength to strength. I do want to bring you here, though, a little bit more of a positive transfer story before we do end in today's video, because obviously recently we have been talking a lot about Miralem Pjanic potentially joining Barcelona this summer, but as of right now, I do feel as though that particular deal, it's hitting a brick wall. And the reason it's hitting a brick wall is because Arthur Melo is integral to Juventus' plans there to exchange Pjanic. They only seem to want a deal if they can get Arthur going the other way, and quite frankly, as we've said before, that is not going to happen, which means that right now, Pjanic, even though Barca want him, is looking very, very difficult. But the positivity comes when you look there once again at MD, who've come out over the weekend to actually say that Barcelona already have an alternative in mind if they can't go out and get Pjanic this summer. And that alternative is Napoli's Fabian Ruiz, who we've been heavily linked to in the past, and it's always funny with Barcelona. I don't know how they manage it, but somehow their alternative, or their backup option, it always seems to be better than their first choice. It seems as though they seem to find themselves in a better situation when they're not back there from their original plan, and Fabian Ruiz would be a perfect illustration of that, because if we had to sign a midfielder this summer, I personally don't see midfield as a big priority. I think we do need a little bit more creativity from midfield. I do believe Fabian could give us that. He is a very, very good midfielder. But I think there's many, many more areas in the team, particularly there when you look at defence, that we should be strengthening first. But if we had to sign one, if we really had to, I would rather us get Fabian as opposed to Pjanic. But with his asking price there at Napoli, reported in the past to be around €60 million, that's also not going to be an easy deal to complete. Although Barcelona, as they always seem to do, believe they can get him for less. We're going to have to wait and see. And that's one name there to bear in mind, a name that we have been linked with on many occasions, and it does seem as though the club are big, big fans of Fabian Ruiz. So that there, guys, is an update right now on all the things going on surrounding Barcelona in the next week. We are going to see the players back in that full training, and it's going to be fascinating to see exactly how Quique Setien is drilling the players and how they're progressing, as football now is so close to returning. Tomorrow, it will be June, and that is the month where it all starts again. I will see you soon, guys. Plenty more to come. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.